WHPR TV is now on demand. Catch us when you want, how you want, where you want. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Watch your favorite TV shows on demand. And be sure to download the WHPR app. We're now on demand at your demand. WHPR TV Detroit on demand.com, a Watkins Broadcasting Company.
Good morning and welcome to the Richard Hairston Morning Show. My name is Richard Hairston. I thank you for joining me. We generally come to you on Wednesdays, actually with Crisis in Michigan. I guess that's kind of what has really inspired the broadcast. It is really a idea of R.J. Watkins to help to keep this issue in Flint in the forefront of our minds. We know how easy it is to bump no matter what the degree of urgency of aggrieved a population might be, especially when we're talking about Flint. We have a 24-hour news cycle, and things are subject to move, and it's fluid. So I just wanted to make sure that we continue to give residents in Flint the opportunity to continue to call in and talk about those things that are on their mind. But on Mondays we talk about a broad range of issues. So I invite you to give me a call, 868-0351, 868-0342, and 868-4336. My goodness, what a week. The police shootings in Dallas, Texas, 5 police officers killed. Well, I guess it was more than 5. I guess we may be talking about an additional 7 that was shot. I guess inclusive of those 5 that were killed. I think may have been 1 civilian in that mix that may have been shot. A lady who was trying to protect her children, actually. But just a horrendous week for police all across the country. In fact, actually, there have been 2 additional shootings of police officers since Thursday. And I guess it's kind of being inspired by Mackay. Xavier Johnson is his name. I guess had a kind of interesting, maybe even troubled background. Actually had a tour in Afghanistan, was in the reserves for 6 years. I guess he was removed from the military, even though I guess his lawyer says that the reason that they acted so quickly in the military concerning Mackay Xavier Johnson is that his contract was nearly up. There was an issue of sexual harassment, and other than just fight it because he had an attorney, they just gave him an honorable discharge and kind of sent him on his way. But here's an individual that apparently had been planning something for some time. I guess he had set up and was doing some kind of military training in his backyard, and saw the opportunity in Dallas with the protest for the killing of Philando Castile in Minnesota, as well as Alton Sterling in Louisiana. These killings really posed I guess, a very interesting, um, I guess, another aspect of these police killings. And it's really as though the overall message is that um, black men should not have weapons, even in an open carry state. Black men with weapons pose an automatic threat for the police community. My goodness, I guess when you look at, I guess the origins of how police departments actually evolved, and it started based on what I'm hearing, and I've read some things on the internet, and you sometimes take it with a grain of salt. Um, but I guess it is said that this whole idea of slave chasing, going and having individuals, um, I guess, go through this whole um, activity of if there are slaves that have escaped, then you send this force after them. Well, apparently that evolved into these police force, whose specific and really sole purpose at the time was to capture so-called runaway slaves. It apparently evolves when, if you look at the Emancipation Proclamation, and part of the Emancipation Proclamation states that slavery is, and the 14th Amendment, let me say that. Um, Slavery is removed. I may be saying the 13th Amendment, but slavery is removed with the exception of those who may be accused and convicted of a crime. And of course, we know that after the Emancipation Proclamation, blacks who wanted to experience and explore freedom, who did not really have any kind of assets or wealth, many of them stayed on plantations. Many of them actually got involved in the rather dismal contract of sharecropping, but then some wanted to experience and explore freedom, and in many cases they became vagrants. As a result, they were picked up by again these evolving police and thrown into prisons where slavery was legal then and is still legal today. We know it because many of these folks that are working for some of these companies making jeans, they're answering phone calls, manning these call centers for some of these major corporations. They are manning goat farms, for heaven's sakes, for Starbucks. They're making patties and hamburgers for fast food restaurants, and the list is just expands significantly. Um, so these folks evolved. This evolved into this police force that we know today, and as a result, there are some serious problems with how they continue to interact, relate to mine and your community. Over the weekend, um, 4 people were arrested here in the Detroit area because they made threats to police on Facebook. Um, the 4 was arrested. 2 were actually released. 2 were held because I guess they had previous warrants. I mean, if you got a warrant and you're posting threats to the police on Facebook, folks don't realize just who's monitoring. I mean, we've talked about the issue of posting stuff on Facebook. If you are seeking a job, because one of the first things that they would do is go and look at your Facebook account to see the kinds of things that you have been writing and posting. We know that because of the prevalence of terrorism, there are departments, and I would imagine most major city police departments that are monitoring these Facebook accounts, and of course they ran across these four individuals that talked about wanting to kill police. Felt that Makai Xavier Johnson, the killer of the cop killer in um, Dallas. Um, I guess they indicated that they felt he was a hero. One individual said he was inspired to organize with some folks and maybe do the same as Mr. Johnson. One person actually said he wants folks to get with him so they can organize some of the same kind of activity. I mean, that's just insane, and that may be a step beyond just free speech. Maybe that particular comment, because he actually goes into the organizing mode of wanting to put together a group of individuals, group of like individuals who might be interested in harming police officers, harming white police officers, and maybe I need to characterize that. Give me a call. What do you think about it? And what is your characterization of Makai Tatum Johnson and this whole episode? I mean, he seemed troubled to me. Um, Although he was purposeful and he certainly was trained, and he was inspired by an incident that I mean, the death of Philando Castillo in Minnesota that was actually captured on Facebook. And this is something that I am actually setting up now, and that is, and we'll be doing it in upcoming weeks, doing this Monday program. I will have someone in who will actually demonstrate and train individuals. And maybe we'll do it maybe 10, 15 minutes every Monday. But train individuals on how they can actually capture film, capture an incident, because these are hand phones and iPhones and these new phones is the best way I can characterize it. They have really exposed another level of, if nothing else, police officers, they have yet to be prosecuted and found guilty, convicted in any of these incidents that I recall. However, it has exposed it to um, the entire planet, actually, and especially white people in America who were saying, there you go again. And we're saying that it's happening, and they're saying that, these are criminals and these are folks that perhaps don't need, well, maybe they're poor choices in terms of if we were protesting or if we were asking for leniency. But we never had, the physical film to demonstrate exactly what was happening in all of these situations. But now we have the film. So I will be having someone in who will actually train you on how to film some of this stuff. Some people have the film and they have the narrow view of it, and maybe we should have the broader view of it, and maybe you should be conscious of that. And if you want to post it, up on one of these sites, Facebook, stream live on Facebook, and some of these other sites. Well, I want to do a few weeks of training so that in the event that you find yourself in a similar kind of situation, you want to film it because it's awfully important. But let's go to the phone lines. In fact, I guess I lost someone. Call me back. I'll get you right in. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hello, caller. You're on the air. I'm wondering if we have well, everything seems to be up. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me? You're on the air.
Hello?
Hmm.
Oh, I can't hear you, Rich.
Can you hear me?
I
Hello?
had to cut my TV on to hear you. I can't. Nothing coming across the phone.
Well, I want you to say what's on your mind.
Okay, there you go. I can hear you now.
All right.
Okay.
Good morning. Thank you for
Good morning,
calling.
fellow patriots.
Well, go ahead and say what's on your mind.
Are you talking to me, Rich?
Yes, I am.
Okay, now I can hear you. Okay, all right. Hey, uh, uh, I just want to remind folks of the importance of being in Cincinnati on August the 4th to hear the emergency manager case. I had a report last night that it is people uh, trying to get to Cincinnati, which is encouraging.
Okay.
So I am trying to put together a bus to go to Cincinnati myself. I've heard that Ask Me and there's a few other organizations across the state will be in Cincinnati. So I'm encouraged.
Well, and that's a good thing. And I didn't catch your voice initially. I mean, actually, we had some problems with some of the levels. But Brother Patriot, really glad that you have really grabbed onto this thing. You do have this amazing lock, these amazing canines, I guess, when you decide that you want to be a part of something. Certainly, you, perhaps more than anybody else, realized how important it was that we were not in Cincinnati 14 years ago when this whole issue concerning the emergency manager was initially challenged.
Well, over the years we have talked about being involved. We hear about the great positions that the lesbian, gay, and Latino communities have put themselves in because they show up on important dates. We are not asking everybody to show up and protest for everything, but this is an important issue where we need to show the world that we care. 14 years ago, we didn't show we cared about our children. When I say only 8 buses left here, from Cincinnati when it counted. We had more people than that protesting or going to get lined up for gym shoes for the latest gym shoe in America or something, I guess, entertaining. I guess they feel like it's entertaining, but this, to me, Rich, if we don't stop this emergency manager, it could spread it right across the country. It's always a test case, and they know this is the strongest protesting state in America. We are the home of the union and the Nation of Islam. There's just so many firsts here, but we need to show them that we're first with our children on August the 4th at 8:30 in the morning. I know it's an early start, but we award, and we need all organizations to organize their troops and try to mobilize in Cincinnati.
This thing is right up front, Brother Patriot, and it's in our face. We deal with this situation, of course, with the crisis in Flint every day because we're broadcasting into Flint, and we're wanting to make sure that individuals continue to have the opportunity to talk about the difficulties that they're having to deal with from day to day because very little has changed, even in Flint. And the problem in Flint can be traced directly back to the emergency manager law. When you talk about the destruction of the public schools, the wishes of folks like the DeVosses, these Amway folks, it has been their wishes and their attempts to destroy public schools in lieu of wanting to bring in these private schools. They could not do it effectively by wanting to get public dollars to be shifted over into these Catholic schools. So since they couldn't get that to happen, they decided that they would destroy public schools with these charter schools. And now half of the students and families in Detroit send their children to these charter schools. We even have this legislation, for heaven's sakes, that says that Detroit, and only Detroit public schools, can hire uncertified teachers. You talk about separate but unequal. That's exactly what we are experiencing here. And that's all a part of the emergency manager authority and the continuation of that kind of control of this community, which really has, we have surrendered and sacrificed our right to vote. You carry your flag. That really perhaps the most important underlying mantra, a historical mantra, would be no taxation without representation.
That's right, Rich.
And here
You
we
know,
are.
I'm not on any side of the the charter school issue. My position is that all the rules should be balanced to for you got public schools have certain rules and regulations, and then we got charter schools that have different regulations. Both of them should operate under the same regulation. To me, to me, the reports have been out where some charter schools have been successful, but for the most part, they have not been successful. So to me, we don't, as the citizens of America, seems like our wishes are not abided by when it comes to our elected officials these days. You know, you've heard the stories about 92% of Americans just want simple gun change laws checked, the background checks, and it don't get done. You know, we in Michigan decided we don't want Public Act 4. We went, put it on the referendum on the ballot, and it was voted by the citizens of Michigan to say, no, we don't want Public Act 4. And then what did the legislators do? I'm trying to find out, is this a problem in America that's going to be piled upon where we are continually dismissed by our legislative officials? You know, all the Black Lives Matter movement is asking is that the police need to start doing better training, because the things that have transpired in the last week, to see black citizens of this city or this state or this country being brutalized and shot and killed execution style, because that's what it has been, execution style, then people are tired of that. We should have the law enforcement agents. They take an oath to protect us and protect and serve under the Constitution of this United States. But they decide on their own. It's almost like we have two separate governments, Rich.
Let me.
We under one country, one nation, under God, indivisible, with just liberty and justice for all. And we need to work at making that true while we here for our grandchildren, for future generations to come. And to be in front of that courtroom will show America that we are serious for some change in this country and in this our state, in this city. We tired of being dictated to.
If there are folks out there that may be interested, and we're encouraging folks, we want you to go to Cincinnati. We have a couple of things. We want to do a fundraiser to help to provide some additional dollars. We've talked to the attorney that's on this case, and he said that's part of the problem. The attorneys are doing this work pro bono, but they cannot keep going into their own pockets, and this is just critical. This is really critical that we support this case all the way into the Supreme Court if necessary. But if folks are wanting to get in touch with you, Brother Patriot, and want to go up to Cincinnati to actually be on the street while this thing is being handled actually in the circuit court, then is there a number you'd care to give out if they are wanting to find a ride to Cincinnati on the 4th?
Yes, Rich, just give me a call because I'm trying to organize a transportation there myself. I wasn't going to do it. I was just going to try to get down there myself. But people have been responding to going to Cincinnati, and they want to find out if they could find a bus. So I decided to look into getting a bus myself and to take it to Cincinnati. So if anybody want or interested in riding to Cincinnati, only call me at 313-808-7384. It's 313-808-7384. 7384, or just email me, bigles@gmail.com.
Bigles at Gmail.
68@gmail.com.
All right.
And I think all hands need to be on deck with this. Every organization in our state, in our city, should be trying to get a bus of transportation to get to Cincinnati. Cincinnati should never forget August the 4th. Okay? And we should never forget May 3rd, because we failed, May 3rd, 2002, because we failed to protect our children. We did that day. It was some great patriots that went to Cincinnati, but we needed more numbers.
Well, and that's what we're trying to do.
America's mind if the numbers are not there, see?
Well, we're going to be there, and we're going to put forth an effort to get as many people there as possible. Brother Patriot, I do appreciate your effort, and thank you so much for calling.
Rich. Appreciate it.
All right. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I heard the president say that the police don't represent and the white population, and he said that the guy who did the shooting didn't represent the black population. Well, I can understand the guy doing the shooting. He said it himself why he did the shooting. He's tired of seeing what he's seen, and I don't think you need no great analysis behind it, because I know I'm tired of it. And seeing the police shoot unarmed people across the country.
Tyrone, hold on one second, and I want to kind of engage you as we go through this, because you're not the only one that I've heard say that, and quite frankly, I'm frustrated regarding this whole situation, and especially with the recent killings by these police officers. Listening to representatives of Black Lives Matter, and that they suggested some very interesting kinds of things in terms of how police should be engaging our communities, and perhaps that needs to be reconstructed somewhat. And I know specifically, I guess I heard, and I don't remember her name, but I know she talked about maybe the funding needs to be looked at a little different in terms of in the inner city, and just exactly how the shift of funding should take place. Part of the speech of Jesse Williams, and this was the part that really stuck in my mind, Tyrone, is that he said, now what we've been doing is looking at data, and we know that police somehow manage to de-escalate, disarm, and not kill white people every day. So what's going to happen is we are going to have equal rights and justice in our own country, or we will restructure their functions and ours. So I'm wondering if we're really talking about, we're not really talking about taking up arms against police, I don't think. And I know that some people may decide that. But I guess generally, and mind you, there's something good that's going to come out of this, even though it is a terrible incident. People are beginning to be more galvanized, and white communities are beginning to look at this thing a little differently. And all of these marches across the country that was there for Philando Castile and Alton Sterling. You had all of these mixed crowds. Kind of one of the things that you talked about, Tyrone, is that we can't do this alone. We have to have a class that comes together and makes these points.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree, Richard. Now, here's one thing people said, the president said that whites don't represent, the police don't represent the whites. I agree with him perfectly. But what do the police really represent? What I see the police represent is the armed apparatus of the government.
Yes.
That means the government, local, state, and federal. And being an armed apparatus of the government, then it makes me ask, what government are they? What kind of government are we talking about? Well, Barry Sanders and the other candidate, Trump, has said we're in a political oligarchy. Well, when you're in a political oligarchy by monopoly, corporation, and finance institution, monopoly breeds domination. And when you see policies coming from Washington, especially starting with the Bill Clinton, 3 strikes and you out, and you see these policies coming, those policies has a tendency of that's got to be carried out in the department of the police department. And when they got to be carried out in the police department, they sort of aggravate increase the aggressiveness of police to carry those policies out and for imprisonment. And when they direct it toward the black community, the welfare queen and all that kind of stuff, when they direct it toward the black community, that aggression with the culture, the entertainment culture in this country, where we watch TV, police is just running, going to take over. They're not going to wait not going to wait for the process of going locking somebody up and then let the courts decide whether they're guilty, and then let the prosecutor prosecute them, and then if they need to execute them. No, they're going to do the prosecute in the street. They're going to be the judge, jury, and the executor. And that's what we've been seeing, that the police have been the activities of the police, why you see it all over the country, is that the policies, the results of the policies coming from the state, local government, such as you got one policy, when you look at the Fifth Amendment, says you got a right not to be searched, and without having a warrant. But then if you look at the 10th Amendment, say, well, what's not in the Constitution, you can exercise it on the state level. And on the state level, the police got a right to stop you and inquire. And doing the inquiry, on the pretext he just inquired, he searches you.
Yes.
Without a warrant. So you got the laws and the policies creating the aggressiveness of the police, and it's coming from the legislators all across the country. So when they say the police don't represent, that's right. It represents the government, and it represents government oppression. And the police is not police brutality. When I got to tell my son, be careful, don't do this, don't do that when you get police, that reflects that the community is living in terror under police terrorism. So we got to call it what it is, not police brutality, it's police terrorism. So I want to make clear my position that the police is a result of the policies of the government, and if we are to straighten it out, it's not police training or nothing like that. I think what we got to do, we got to hit the institutions the political oligarchs. We got to hit the institution who hires the political oligarchs. That's the corporation. That means shut down malls, shut down the cities, and they would do just like they did in Birmingham. They would take the guns from the police like they took them from Bill Connors in Birmingham after the marches marched 38 straight days and hurt business. When they hurt business, that's the only way we can do it. We don't need to talk about training. We talked about that 50 years ago.
Now, Tyrone, have you seen or heard, and I received a text actually, that as a result of these police murders that have just happened year after year after year, we just happen to be capturing it for prosperity on these phones. There is a protest, and I guess Target has been identified as the first. Well, Target and Coca-Cola products. And I guess what the plan is, and they have even discouraged folks from even being as open as I am being right now, but they are saying that, again, every month, after 30 days, and I think August the 3rd or 4th would be the new Target, and I mean Target, the new corporation, that will be identified, and this will happen month after month after month until this situation with these police killings, with this systematic adversarial relationship that exists between law enforcement and black communities until somehow that's changed. And I do like what Black Lives Matter is actually saying,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that is we have to and Jesse Williams as well. We have to begin thinking about how we can reorganize these police stations, and if it means that we have to take a half of the police officers off the street and put social workers and drug counselors out in the street instead, then maybe that's what we need to do. But we
yeah.
cannot continue to function with these folks killing black people with impunity.
I agree. I never heard about it, but they're on the right track. Like I said, I can understand the young man doing the shooting, but that's not the way to go. But the way to go is, I do know, I've seen in history, when they hurt the pocketbook in Montgomery, the business people came and said, "Oh, let's negotiate. My business going down." When they marched 38 days in Birmingham with marching, then when they took them hoses and dogs from Bill Connors, who was the police chief, and put him in the office behind the desk, and they went had a committee say, "Let's negotiate. My business is hurting." When they hurt those businesses, the boss of the political oligarch steps up and say, "Oh, let's negotiate."
Well, but that's where it is now, and it is when you go on the internet. If you Google it, you'll see that it's somehow being conflated with but this bathroom situation that's coming out of South Carolina, I think. But it is supposedly, based on what was text to me, that for 30 days, Target is the target. Target supermarket, a department store is the target, and they're asking people not to shop at Target for the next 30 days, and to buy Coke products for the next 30 days, and then after August the 4th, there will be a new text, a new message that people will get, and then we will identify, and it's not we, but wherever this is coming from, will identify a new corporation to begin to boycott
I
until
am
this
inspired.
situation is
I
over.
am inspired. So I'm going to hang up and listen. I'm inspired. You really inspired me this morning to hear that news.
All right. Appreciate
Okay.
your call, Tyrone. Thank you. Good morning, caller. You on the air.
Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing? You all right?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for calling.
Good, good. Hey, what do you think, since community benefit agreements have popped back on the radar, if you will, what do you think of Councilmember Benson jumping up, producing a so-called compromise? I call it a bastardized version of community benefit agreement.
I'm not aware of it. Generally, I support community benefit agreements. Generally, it's jobs that they offer, and I think jobs are automatic. I think there probably should be some other things that directly impacts the lives of our children, college tuitions, and maybe some expanded kinds of things. Because jobs, it just seems like it would be automatic as far as I'm concerned. But I am a proponent of these community agreements. Absolutely.
Well, that's good to hear, Richard, because what Benson is showing is that we in Detroit, we need to really put some people on that council that's going to represent the people, the citizens of Detroit, because like I said before, and I've heard you say it also, that we're not getting the representation that we should from our elected officials. Everybody across the country know everywhere there's a successful community benefit agreement, it's where the developer and the host community group, which is the people, whether it's five or a group of five or 5 groups or more, they sit down and they negotiate the terms of the agreement, and it's legally binding. It gives people, the citizens, a legal voice, if the developer renege on the agreement.
See,
what we have here is Benson and a few others on that council including Mayor Duggan, do not want the people to have that power. Okay?
And I believe there's a way that you have to sell it. You see, because if there's a company that comes to town, and or the existing that's expanding, and as a result they are sort of encroaching into neighborhoods. They are really changing the culture in neighborhoods. They are grabbing land in neighborhoods, and seemingly that they should just automatically want to give back. And the best thing about it is that they demonstrate themselves to be good neighbors, good corporate citizens, and they also create this enormous goodwill out there in the community. So seemingly, I mean, if it's negotiated right, if it's structured right, it's something that could benefit these corporations to a major extent. If you demonstrate that you are a good neighbor, a good corporate citizen, then we not only want you to do business in this area that you're progressing, but we want you to expand what you're doing because you have a clear understanding that there is a quid pro quo relationship that should be prosecuted, and communities should benefit from the sacrifice that they're asked to surrender in this negotiation. So I agree with you. It's too bad Benson. Benson is kind of interesting. It's just too bad.
He's very much interesting. But here's the thing, Richard. It's the elected officials in Detroit. They cannot wrap their arms around the people having the power to negotiate a deal with the developer. That's what it is. They want to keep this. They want to keep this scheme, this kickback scheme, going. You see, what happens is the kickback scheme comes into play when the city is the one that's making the decisions, and you create this so-called advisory citizens group, which give no power to the people. Now, community benefits agreement is only one community benefit agreement concept in the United States or the world, period. Okay? And so for Benson or Charlie Beckham or the mayor or anybody else to come up talking about, well, we can put this version in here, which is the Detroit version, that's the bastardized version. Okay? The bottom line is, and Talib, she's right. It's the people sitting down with the developer to negotiate the terms of the community benefit agreement, be it job training, job creation, recreation center, more police department. More police stations, more fire stations, and things of that nature. And so again, it's the citizens. We must pay attention to this. And Brenda Jones needs to come out of her wherever she's at, and she needs to speak on this issue because it's critical. Even New Era Detroit have said that whoever they vet and whoever they're going to get behind in the November election in Detroit, they must support community benefit agreement. It's about job creation. I'm talking about sustainable jobs that will support a family of four, and it's more than $15 an hour.
Well, I believe it's jobs. I think jobs are automatic. You come into a community, then you should hire folks in that community. But the other thing, I also believe that there should be some other kinds of support mechanisms that should be a part of it, and maybe it should be focused on the children. Maybe it should be a promise program that offers a complete college tuition award or something. But certainly these community benefits agreement, they should be creative. I guess the thing about it, and here Benson, Benson has, and I don't want to just kind of pile on with the guy, but he's had some issues. And generally, when you have folks that have these issues, they have these exposed nerves, and oftentimes they can be manipulated and controlled to a great extent, and they fear their ability to be reelected. and therefore, we end up with some rather curious kinds of legislation and stands that these people take. I mean, I'm not
Well,
surprised. It is
what
just
Benson doing,
unfortunate.
Richard? He's trying to win, and you're absolutely right. He's trying to win favor with Mike Duggan. It's clear. It's clear as day.
Well, that certainly may be a part of it.
Yep.
Well, I do appreciate the call.
Okay. Have a good one.
Thank you so much, sir. I need to take just a quick break, just a quick station break, and I'm going to be back in just a moment. So I got a couple of callers. Stay there. I'll get you just as soon as I come out of break. It's a quick break. This is a station break. So we'll be back in just a moment.
WHPR TV is now on demand. Catch us when you want, how you want, where you want. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Watch your favorite TV shows on demand. And be sure to download the WHPR app. We're now on demand at your demand. WHPR TV Detroit On Demand.com, a Watkins Broadcasting Company.
This is the real Campu, keeping all my people unified. Please be sure to download my album, Campu, Birth of a New Nation, and my 2 latest hit singles, My People Rise and Be Good to Us, with voiceover skits, with inspirational poetry, hip-hop, and harmony.
Download your MP3 single copy of My People Rise and Be Good to Us, with voiceover skits, or the album Birth of a New Nation, all available on iTunes, Amazon, and other online stores.
Don't forget, Birth of a New Nation by Campu.
We want to make sure that our students are well-rounded in a variety of career and academic programs. We are moving towards the career technical education field.
So there's a lot of opportunities in career programs in a field where they get certifiable skills.
Students can save time and money while earning a bachelor's degree right here at the University Center.
We're here to walk students every step of the way, from applications to scholarships to course selection.
And then go further beyond that and take master level classes.
It's a brand new Wayne County Community College district.
We're here to stay.
Let's get ready to party. The Ottawa Heritage Music Festival is returning to beautiful Williams Island in Ottawa, Michigan for one day only, August 13, 2016. Our fabulous lineup stars Ray Parker Jr., D-Train, Michael Henderson, and many more. Your host is comedian extraordinaire Mike Bonner. Party all day on the beach with beautiful Lake Idyllwild as your backdrop. Concert tickets are only $55 for the entire day. Luxury motor coach transportation is available, and you can check out our hotel accommodations and weekend trip packages. We also offer easy payment plans, and vendor opportunities are also available. For more information, visit our website at www.visitottawa.com or call us at 248-773-7858. So get your tickets now and reserve your space for the Ottawa Heritage Music Festival, and come party on the beach.
Welcome back, folks. This is the Richard Hairston Morning Show. Thank you so much for joining us. My lines are full, and I've been joined by the lovely and very bright, actually, very smart, very dedicated. I want to say Theo Doughton's daughter first, but I'll say Michelle Broughton. She has her own right in her. She certainly has done enough in this community to say that as a teacher and as an equestrian,
yes.
I mean, just ride horses. And just so many other things. I just want to thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for having me by.
We're in the middle of a conversation, so I want to go to the phone lines. Then we're going to talk a little bit about you.
Yes.
But let's get some of these folks who've been waiting. Good morning, caller. You on there, actually, with Richard Hairston and Michelle Broughton. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
I'd like the audience to hear. This is a document that I submit to the United States District Court, Eastern District of Michigan, in the matter of the City of Detroit, Chapter 9, bankruptcy submitted on July 1st of this year.
Okay.
I being the plaintiff. Affidavit of a notice of acceptance, offer and acceptance. becomes now the third-party intervener pursuant Uniform Commercial Code, Section 2206, offering acceptance and formation of contract on behalf of Gloria Denise Jones, the debtor, to notice the above style court that the third-party intervener has accepted for the value that Honorable Judge Stephen Rhodes offered to, one, listen to the audio recording of the proceedings as long as it takes, as most everyone having a stake in this matter were not present to accept the offers that were made by the representative of the chair of St. Peter, Robert Michael, of the House of Marquis. Two.
Well, hold on. And I do need you to give me kind of hold on now. I need you to give me a summary of what it is that you're talking about, because you said something that was hold on.
You guys
you said something that was kind of
I will go door to
you
door,
actually said something that was kind of interesting when you talked about the commercial codes. And really what I was interested in is that have you filed some sort of action by using the commercial codes in order to seek some sort of retribution in that you've been violated through this whole bankruptcy process? And is it the commercial codes that you are using to actually seek some justice? Hello, caller.
Now, are you going to allow me to finish?
No, I just asked you a question. You just can't come in here and just drop something like that. You have to be subject to. If I have some inquiry, then absolutely I'm going to make that inquiry, and I expect you to respond. Are you filing something based on the Unified Commercial Codes?
I filed based on the bankruptcy, and yes, it is all based on the Universal Code of Commerce.
Now what
the citizens don't know.
Now, what are you asking for in retribution?
I'm asking that the citizens be allowed to hear what Judge Rhodes has said they have a stake in, the outcome.
And how much is it?
Is that the Vatican sent a representative back in 2012 when all of those city representatives were sitting in that court.
I interviewed him. He was here at the station, and I interviewed him.
I'm sorry, say that again.
He was here at the station, and I interviewed him.
I don't know whether you did or didn't. I do know
I just
this.
told you what I did.
I accepted the value, what Judge Rhodes said. I listened to the video recording, and I transcribed it word for word, because to accept an offer, you have to.
Well, I mean, I don't. Maybe that's some other time. I got 7 minutes left, and I got a couple of things I need to do. I'm sorry, I really can't. I can't go through the whole part of it because I did want to talk to Michelle Broughton a little. But let's see if we get one more caller. And caller, you're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
I'm going to just allow you to talk to Ms. Broughton. But I will say this. In my lifetime of learning, your mother has passed on a seed of integrity, and I think it's in you. And I know nothing about you. I've listened to your mother, so I'll just hang up and continue on. Thank you.
Thank you.
That is a powerful kind of thing, and it does appear it is really continuing a legacy, maybe and something that was sort of put in you to serve this community.
As a public servant, yes. For 30 years, I've been a precinct delegate. So I've done that. I'm a good neighbor, block club secretary. I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother. My kids go to Detroit Public Schools. My kids graduated from Detroit Public Schools.
Okay, mine did too.
Okay.
Okay, I understand. And they're doing so well, actually. Good morning, caller. You on the? I'm sorry. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. Good morning, Richard. I too support your mother and Hood Research for all that they do. So I know you come from great stock.
Thank you.
And I was at the meeting trying to get your literature because I am in the area every day where I can get the word out. that it's time for a change, and
My
we need
goodness.
someone like you that
If
really
Sylvia,
cares about
if
the
Sylvia
community.
endorses you, then the last caller talked about the Pope. Maybe the Pope should endorse you.
So I will be getting more literature for you.
Thank you so much, and I'll be out to visit.
Okay.
Was there something that you wanted to leave us with, Sylvia? I guess she's gone. See, these folks are really so wonderful. They know that you need to say a few words.
Okay, I'm Michelle Broughton, running for Wayne County Commissioner in District 5.
Now I got to give about 19 people.
I'm sorry.
What
Okay,
is it,
so my main message is I'm
equal
going out,
time.
I'm in the community,
Okay.
and the people are not engaged. I need the people to find somebody that's a champion for the people.
Are you finding that people are not knowing that we have a vote coming up in August?
Your voters are educated. They are just, the apathy is there. And I'm trying to light a fire under their feet, because if they go and vote, the change will come.
This is the opportunity. If you talk
If
about
they
recall,
go and vote, that's right.
This is the time to recall.
That's right.
If you, I know they say we voted with a vengeance. When we first elected President Obama, women were just outstanding.
That's what I need.
But
to
I want to go.
see in
I
the
want to go to the
primary.
polls. I want to go to the polls with a vengeance, and say it's payback time.
That's right.
And those folks who have not served this community, those folks who have violated and taken advantage of this community, I think they ought to pay.
That's right.
Pay
They
with
should.
unemployment.
That's right. That's right. They should.
And then we need to install some folks that are
For the people, that care, that know what a public servant is. A public servant is to serve. It's not to give yourself a pay raise, get permanent health care, none of that. You have to have fair contracts for the people that do the most work. And that's your labor force.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air. This is Richard Hairston, and we're sitting in with Mrs. Michelle Broughton.
Hi, Michelle. Dee Dee.
Hello.
And I have talked to her, and she's one of us folks. I talked to her up at East English Village School. Remember, Michelle?
Yes.
And I was really impressed with what you were telling me about what was going on with the union. So I'm not going to take much time, but she's great. Thank you, Michelle, for what you do.
Thank you
Dee
so
Dee,
much.
You are actually great. Thank you so much. We got 2 minutes. Why we need to go to the polls, and then why we need to vote for Michelle Broughton. Well, did I say that? See, I got 30 people now that I got.
We need to go to the votes because our vote counts.
Mhm.
We have the power. We're the people. We have to put people in that want to represent us, that have that's a good neighbor, a good friend, and understand that if I do the best to serve you, your conditions will change, and you will have the best neighborhood, you'll have the best city, the best state that you want to stay here and live in.
Gotta have the interests of our community.
They have to have the interest. I'm your brother's keeper. I do care. I'm a good neighbor. I try to do my
You
best.
must be just a wonderful neighbor.
I do my best.
I want to move on your street. Michelle Broughton, I wish you the very best.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
I like the idea of what Jesse Williams said, and even what the thrust of Black Lives Matter has been. Black Lives Matter has been recently, and that's just above the microphone, the megaphone, and above the marches. They're saying that maybe we need to think about how we are going to restructure how police engage with black people in our community.
Right.
And if it means that we have to replace police officers with drug counselors, replace police officers with social workers.
Right. Or residency. That needs to come back.
Or
Because if you live in my community, you care about it.
And maybe that makes a difference, residency. But there has to be a way that this relationship has to be restructured, because apparently it's not working, Michelle Broughton.
It's not working.
Some things need to happen. I was looking at a lady, Natasha McKinnon. She's naked, black lady, obviously mentally ill, schizophrenic, and they tased her to death. They tased her to death. Gotta go. Thank you. God bless you.